don't know if I...
Yeah.
Let me know if you can hear me in the back. I don't like to be...
need
well,
a mic.
thank you, thank you. She said from Cienfuegos because there was an article that was published yesterday. I don't know if... in the Nuevo Herald. So I've become famous all of a sudden. I mean, for over 60 years of my life, I never got anywhere. And all of a sudden, I'm basically in the Miami Herald, the Nuevo Herald, because I had to basically thank Blanca Silva. Where's Blanca Silva?
It's just a small contribution.
Okay.
Very small.
So with this year, what we had different this year is that we do have a professional publicist that she's also doing that pro bono. She has been able to actually get us into some of the media, and hopefully that basically plants the seeds for the future, because we definitely are looking forward to expanding this. This is a great organization. It's a great program. It goes back to 2007 when the Association of Cuban-American Engineers and the Association of Cuban-American Civil Engineers got together with the concept of what can we do to actually get the thought process for the future of Cuba. And that's where it all began. In 2010, we had the first competition. So let me just give you a little bit of background as to what we're all about. That is the mission statement. I'm not going to read it. You can read it. But pretty much it's actually awakening the desire of the students. Engineer students, they don't all have to be engineers. We welcome other students that are not engineers also involved in the program. But basically working for the improvement of the island. And we know the infrastructure in Cuba is destroyed. You know, unless it has to do with the tourist industry, which is a revenue maker, everything else is pretty much destroyed. So the process here is to actually get new blood thinking about the future of Cuba. And they don't have to be Cubans, by the way. We do have a lot of you presenting today that are not Cubans, don't have Cuban roots. And that's exactly what we're looking for towards the future. We definitely basically want to involve everyone in the process. Everyone, because basically the end result here is the people of Cuba that are suffering and have suffered for many, many, many years. Okay. And the objectives that we try to accomplish, obviously, is to foster engineering and science education and scholarship. And one of the things that you notice this year, well, if you had not been involved in the past, but the significant increase in prize money that we have. And Regina alluded to that because of the Buya Gastro Bar. By the way, it's a great restaurant. So, but Buya came up, actually, and I have to basically thank Victor Pujal and Helena Solo Gabriel, Dr. Solo Gabriel, because they actually met with him, with the owner of Centurion, the owner of Buya Gastro Bar, and actually they were able to get him to commit to a tremendous contribution, and he's not even Cuban. Okay, so actually it's a sustainable contribution, sustainable goal of $100,000, which is $20,000 per year. And that is the reason why we have been able to increase the prize money. And we're looking to more teams competing in the future also, looking forward to that. So former specialty subcommittees to conduct research and analysis, and specialty subcommittee based on infrastructure. The total infrastructure is decayed, so we've had in the past healthcare projects. We had Wi-Fi, telecommunications projects submitted. So we basically are looking at a variety of projects, not only in the civil area. And most of the projects this year are in the civil area, or civil branch of engineering, but we definitely need to actually get other branches. Like I said, we're trying to get an FIU chapter going. They have a lot of biomedical engineers in FIU. We'd like to be able to get into the biomedical area, the healthcare area, so on and so forth. Collaborate with other organizations as appropriate and disseminate the findings, conclusions, recommendations, what we're trying to basically do. And there are two phases to the Cuba infrastructure program. One is the professional phase, and then the student phase. The professional phase, actually, there were about 17 studies that were conducted back in 1992. And that's back when we all thought that there was going to be a change in government in Cuba after the Soviet Union collapsed. And there were 17 projects that they were led by Dr. Cerejo. I think Dr. Manolín Cerejo is here today in the back. And they actually dealt with the Cuba infrastructure at that point and what needed to be done to improve the Cuba infrastructure. And they're there. We have the project. We just need to bring it up to date. So that's another thing that we're looking at is on the professional side of the house, bring the projects up to date on the student side of the house, get the students involved, thinking about the future of Cuba, and become a depository for Cuba infrastructure projects for the future. Well, the purpose, you can read. I hate to read. I mean, you guys can read it, and I'll basically wait until you read, and then I'll say a few more words. Pretty much, we're basically looking at ABETS accredited universities to get involved. And one of the things that we found is that the best involvement is to have a student chapter at the schools. The 3 universities that are here today have student chapters. So we're looking to create another student chapter at FIU in the area of biomedical engineering and mechanical engineering and the non-civil engineers, and hopefully we can get that going. We're also looking at, we have been in communication with FSU, Florida A&M, to see if we can actually establish a chapter, student chapter over there, FAU also. So it's not easy to do. I mean, it's one of the hardest things to do because you have to have the desire from the students to get involved, and you have to have the desire from the faculty to sponsor them. So it's not an easy thing to do. Georgia Tech is another one that Jerry Fernandez is talking to the Georgia Tech folks to see if we can get one going at Georgia Tech. Because the objective is to actually have a significant number of people involved, significant number of students involved in the future, submitting projects. And this is a complex, I'll summarize it as this is a few words. As Regina alluded in the opening remarks, we are actually an organization that is a joint organization from the Cuban-American Engineers, Association of Cuban-American Engineers and the Association of Cuban-American Civil Engineers. There we are in the middle, subtending to the Association for the Study of the Cuban Economy, so on and so forth. And one of the things that we have this here at, and I tell you what, I knew Delphin, and Delphin Mullen was a member of the Association of Civil Engineers, Cuban-American Civil Engineers, a member for a lot of years. His father was also a member, and he passed away, all of a sudden he passed away back in June. And Betty Bezos gave us a thought of establishing a Delphin Mullins Memorial Award. And what we're going to do, and that's going to be at the end of the program, we're going to be recognizing mentors that have been involved with this year's program. And as submitted by the students that are participating as to who the what the mentors did, what they, how they helped, so on and so forth. One caveat, one thing that we're going to add for the future is to also have the judges give us the input obviously before the presentation as to the quality of the project, so that we can add that, because obviously the mentor, students, and the quality at the end. And it's a very serious award, and we do have here Terry Mullins. I'm sorry, Terry. Okay. Like I said, I knew Delphin for many, many years. My kids went to school with his daughter, so it's hard not to have him around. Okay. Anything else that we left off? Okay. I do want to recognize some people here, in case I don't get to do it at the end. Blanca Silva again. I already mentioned you. If you can stand up and thanks. I thank Armando for running into you at an event, and you immediately say yes, I would help, and you have helped.
So way to contribute to Cuba's future.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We also have Maggie Menocal from the Cuban Cultural Center, and they're going to be joining with us in the future to publicize us, and we'll publicize them, so on and so forth. So Maggie, thank you for being here today. And one of the things that I want to say is that this organization, for it to continue to be a living organization, is we need the past presenters to get involved. And I can tell you that we have 3 past presenters that are more than 3 past presenters, but we got some people that are really, really involved that were presenters in the past and are now the ones that are carrying the organization. Sergio Claury. He presented back in 2011?
2013.
13 with the University of Miami. We have Cristina Ortega Castañeda. Also presented back in the early days, correct, with the University of Miami, Jose Enrique. And I definitely want to mention Regina Rodriguez, okay? And I do have 4 children. One of them is about her age. And she's a dream of every father and mother, okay? Because I have good kids. I mean, as a matter of fact, one of them was a classmate of Mario there at Epiphany. So I know what a good person is. And she's got the whole package. Okay, I had never in my life ran into a person that's 24 years old. She's a PhD candidate at the great University of Florida. Go Gators. Okay? And she wants more and more. She can multitask. So this is the type of, and she's a member of the board right now. By the way, she's a member of the board of directors of the Association of Cuban-American Engineers. Jose Enrique and Cristina are members of the board of directors of the Associations of Cuban-American Civil Engineers. So this is the type of people that we need for the future. That's another thing. That's an ancillary benefit of doing this, is because we're also going to be seeing who can help for the future, and she definitely has. So thank you very much.
Thank you.